The sharp tang of polish and aged leather filled the air as a parade of the privileged filed into the opulent Canidra Hall auction house. This wasn't some local kennel meetup or a charity pet show. This was the Super Bowl of canine breeding, a private event for the rich, elite breeders and silent investors who treated working dog bloodlines like stock portfolios. Laughter tinkled over the clinking of crystal tumblers, catalog pages whispered as they turned, and murmured predictions about upcoming lots rippled through the crowd. And then the room shifted. Not visibly, not loudly. Just enough for those paying attention to feel it an awkward pause in the ambient flow as Elias Wade stepped through the entrance. His flannel shirt was faded, his jeans dusty at the knees, and his boots had seen more sunrises than half the room combined. A thick gray beard framed his jaw, coarse and unkempt. Hands worn from years of labor hung at his sides, fingers calloused like old bark. He didn't belong. At least that's what everyone there thought. "Who let that guy in?" whispered a man in a satin-trimmed blazer, nudging his seatmate. "Looks like he couldn't afford a leash, let alone a legacy bloodline." Elias didn't flinch. He didn't look. He didn't stop. His eyes steely and sharp locked onto the holding area where a German shepherd stood tall and silent, ears twitching, eyes alert. The dog was magnificent, even through its visible wear ribs a bit too prominent. Coat dulled from neglect, but posture perfect, head high. Elias saw more than a dog. He saw the ghost of a past stolen from him. A connection to something bigger than money or prestige. A bloodline tied to his bones. He stepped toward the pens only to be stopped by a tall security guard in a navy blazer with broad shoulders and a badge that meant business. "Sir, this event is for registered bidders only," the guard said firmly, eyes narrowing. "If you're not on the list." "I have an invitation," Elias replied, voice low but unshaken. "Let him show it then," came a voice from behind. The crowd parted like fabric under a blade as Langston Dyer, CEO of Dyer K9 Holdings, approached. His tailored suit screamed wealth, his silver hair was coiffed to perfection, and his smile was colder than a Montana winter. Well, Langston drawled. "If it isn't Elias Wade. I'd heard you went feral out there in the woods. Must have taken a break from chopping firewood to grace us with your presence." Elias turned slowly, handing the guard his invitation. Langston waved it off. "He used to matter in this business," Langston said, addressing the curious crowd. "Trained some good dogs wasn't till grief took his legs out from under him. Now he just clings to stories and broken dreams." The laughter that followed wasn't loud, but it was sharp. Elias's expression didn't change. "I'm here to bid," he said simply. "You?" Langston barked out a laugh. "You planning to pay in wood chips and war stories?" "I've got the means." Langston sneered but said nothing more as the auction began. Dogs came and went. Bids soared. Champagne flowed. Then came Lot 29. "Ladies and gentlemen," the auctioneer boomed, "the final and most prestigious offering of the evening, Argon, the last direct descendant of the Wade bloodline. A German shepherd of impeccable lineage, bred from lines that served presidents, protected heads of state, and fought beside our soldiers in foreign lands." The dog was led to the platform and the murmurs began. The resemblance to the old Wade dogs was uncanny. Langston stood silently watching as bids rose. $30K. $50K. $75K. A veterinarian from New York lifted her paddle. $80K. The room buzzed. Then a calm, gravel-filled voice cut through the rising crescendo like a blade. $150,000. Silence. Heads turned. Elias sat in the back row, calm as ever, hands resting on his knees. Langston's face lost its color. "This is a joke," he snapped. But the auctioneer only cleared his throat. "Do I hear 155? No response. 160? Still none. Going once. Twice. Sold." The gavel cracked. The room held its breath. And Langston exploded. "This manha doesn't have that kind of money. I demand verification." The auction manager, a woman named Clarissa Holtz, stepped forward. "Mr. Wade, if you'll come with me." Elias nodded. In the private verification room, Clarissa held out her hand. Elias reached into his jacket and handed her a folded cashier's check. Clarissa unfolded it and scanned the numbers. Then looked up at Elias, visibly surprised. "This is valid." "Good," Elias said. She hesitated. "Can I ask where you got it?" He gave her a wry smile. "Ever heard of Wade Reserve?" Her eyebrows shot up. The land trust outside Missoula? I never sold it. Just leased it for 99 years. Paid up front. Clarissa blinked. So you're the owner? Still am. Back in the main room, Langston was pacing like a lion denied a kill. When Elias returned, leading the German shepherd by the leash, the murmurs resumed. Langston stepped forward, blocking his path. This isn't over, he said. I know your game. You got help. Someone bankrolled you. I don't need help to reclaim what's mine, Elias replied. Langston leaned in, voice low and venomous. That dog is the last of your line. But I own the rest, your name, your techniques, your old breeding logs. I bought them. You're done. Elias's expression didn't change. You bought ink and paper, Langston. You didn't buy legacy. You can't breed loyalty, courage, and instinct in a spreadsheet. Langston scoffed. You think anyone cares about integrity in this business anymore? I care. And so do the people who matter. He walked past Langston without another word. That night, back at his modest cabin in the pines, Elias and the German shepherd whom he'd named Valor stood together under the stars. Your name isn't Argon, Elias whispered. It's Valor. You're not a product. You're a partner. Over the next weeks, Elias nursed Valor back to health. Every meal, every training session, every walk in the early morning mist was a thread weaving them together. The dog, once thin and wary, regained weight, confidence, and purpose. Word spread. When the state raided Langston's kennels a month later, Elias wasn't surprised. He knew Langston had cut corners. He knew the shine on his operation was just lacquer over rot. But what did surprise him was that the state investigators found forged documents in Langston's files. Transfer records from years ago. Fake signatures. Paper trails built on fraud. Langston was arrested. And suddenly, Elias's blood-beneath Wade line wasn't just symbolic anymore. It was legally his again. Clarissa, who'd become something of a quiet ally, called with the update. Your name is being cleared, she said. And there's interest in rebuilding your breeding program. The right way. I'm not breeding to sell, Elias said. Not anymore. She paused. Then what will you do? Elias looked down at Valor, sitting loyally by his side. I'm going to train the next generation. Dogs and people. He kept his promise. Within a year, Elias's cabin property had transformed. Young veterans with PTSD. At-risk teens. Even returning handlers seeking retraining came to his modest ranch. And Valor? He became the first certified therapy dog out of the new program serving at children's hospitals and VA clinics across Montana. Langston Dyer was sentenced to 5 years for fraud and animal cruelty. His name disappeared from the industry. His empire crumbled. And the last laugh? It didn't come from Elias. He never needed it. Instead, it echoed through the paws of the puppies now romping through the training yard at Wade Legacy Ranch. Puppies born not of greed, but of honor. And every evening, as the sun dipped behind the Bitterroot Mountains, Elias sat on his porch, Valor at his feet, a quiet peace in his chest. He hadn't just reclaimed a dog. He had restored a legacy.